Okay, all right. So I just wanted to talk about one more property that we did not discuss yesterday. Let's talk about that property and then we will directly talk about past paper questions. Okay? Okay. So let's just spend 1 minute and see. Acha. In the beginning, we just discussed some properties where we had two parallel lines and about triangles and all of that. Then we discussed some properties related to circles. You guys need to spend some time and memorize all of these because you get to use them directly. Okay. And yes, then this was basically a property about cyclic quadrilaterals. Okay, it's important. This is something that we discussed day before yesterday. What exactly is a cyclic quadrilateral? So it's a four-sided figure whose vertices are touching four different points of the circumference. Okay, you guys cannot say that this this is this is not, wait 1 second, even this is not even a quadrilateral. Wait 1 second, let me just make one quickly. Okay, this is a quadrilateral, but it is not a cyclic quadrilateral. Why? Because this vertex is not touching the circumference. So a cyclic quadrilateral is the one जिसकी सारी की सारी four sides, they are touching the circumference. And what exactly is the property? The property was that sum of the two opposite sides in case of a cyclic quadrilateral is 180. For example, this is opposite to this. 70 plus 110 would give you 180. Similarly, this angle is x degrees and this can be easily calculated by doing 180 minus x. Okay. So this was something very, very important and we will be using this today in some questions. Okay. Then we had some discussion about triangles. So there was a question in the quiz I gave you guys yesterday. We'll talk about that later. So there the statement was that just give one reason and explain why exactly is that triangle an isosceles triangle, right? So we have three types of triangles. It's scalene. Let me just write it over here just so we can remember it forever. Okay, so we have three different types of triangles. The first one or this one is basically scalene. And the property is that a triangle who has three different sides, like the three lengths are different, okay? This length, and this length. These three lengths are different. That is why it is a scalene triangle. The second one is basically equilateral triangle. Why? It's self-explanatory. Equi means equal, three equal sides. So this side is equal to this side is equal to this side, okay? And the last one is isosceles triangle. And what is the property? The property was that an isosceles triangle has only two equal sides, okay? So if you have a triangle and if it has two equal sides, the third side has some different length, that triangle is going to be isosceles, okay? So we will talk about that question I gave you guys and what exactly was the angle side property. If the sides are same, the corresponding angles are also going to be same. For example, in case of equilateral, what was happening? The three sides were same, so the three angles were same. In case of isosceles, what would be happening? The two sides are same, so this angle and this angle, both these angles are same, right? This was basically the angle side relationship. And in case of scalene, since all these three sides are of three different lengths, so all the angles are different, okay? So this is something you guys need to keep in your mind, okay? Because this would be used again and again. Okay, all right. One last thing, and then we can talk about the past paper questions. Okay, this is very important. Sum of interior angles of a polygon. This is something that we need to remember. Okay, acha. What exactly is a polygon? सबसे पहले तो ये polygon is any shape, any figure. For example, this right here is a polygon. Any shape that has three or more than three sides is basically a polygon. Okay, this is a polygon. This is your polygon. This is also a polygon, right? Why are these polygons? Because all these three shapes have three or more than three sides. Okay. Now these are some familiar shapes, right? The first one is triangle, square. Then you need to count the number of sides: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then all these shapes are basically shapes that you guys have been seeing. But what if I make something of this type, like an irregular polygon or something that you guys have not seen before? This, one second. This is also a polygon, right? So any shape that is closed and has more than two sides is basically a polygon. What is the rule? The rule says sum of interior angles of a polygon. Okay. Can anyone tell me what is the sum of the interior angles in case of a triangle?
180 degrees.
180.
Very good. Well done. Excellent. Okay, and can anyone tell me what is the sum of the interior angles in case of this?
360 degrees.
Very good. Well done. Okay. And what about this one?
I
Exactly.
think nobody knows.
Exactly. Okay. Because even if you guys know this 180, 360, that's fine. But we have this one formula that is related to the number of sides of the polygon. When you plug in the number of sides, you would get the sum of interior angles of a polygon. Okay. Let me write that formula. The formula is n minus 2 into 180, where n is the number of sides of the polygon. Okay. So this triangle has three sides. When I will plug in this 3 over here, I would get 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 multiplied by 180 is 180. This is why the sum of interior angles in case of a triangle is 180, right? Because of this formula. What about this? Why exactly is this 360? Because this square, this rectangle, this quadrilateral has 4 sides. When I will plug in 4 here, I would get 4 minus 2, that is 2. And then 2 multiplied by 180 is going to give me 360 degrees. Okay, this is why it is 360. Now if I talk about the third figure,
Is it 720 degrees?
2, very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 sides. Okay, so I would do 6 minus 2, that is 4, and 4 multiplied by 180 is going to give you 720 degrees. Very good. Okay, acha, let's do it for the fourth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 sides in total.
40
5,
degrees.
5, very good. 5 minus 2 is 3, multiplied by 180 is 540. Excellent. So 540 degrees. So there is no point in memorizing these angles. We don't want to memorize all of this when we have this formula. Okay. The examiner can give you any weird shape. You need to use this formula and then try finding out the previous angles. Let's just quickly talk about 2 to 3 properties that we would be using in the past papers that I will talk about in a minute or so, just so we get to practice this directly. Okay. So first of all, this thing would be used n minus 2 multiplied by 180. Remember, this is the formula that gives you sum of interior angles in case of any polygon. So no need to remember this 180 or 360, okay? Then this angle side relationship. And this would specifically be used in case of triangles. So if you have a triangle, and yes, if you have a circle and if you have some triangle inside that circle, try figuring out if that is an isosceles triangle or not. Okay, because this and this, both the sides would be equal, and this concept would be used time and again in all the past papers. You'll see that. Okay, Then the cyclic quadrilateral, sum of opposite angles is 180. Then this is okay. This is also fine. I'm just talking about the most important ones. Then this one. Always make sure. I have told you guys earlier as well, this is how I'm making these figures, okay? It could be that in the past papers, you get to see something different. So please don't get confused. Just remember the idea behind the property. What is the idea behind the property? If two angles are making the same arc, the angles are going to be equal. This was basically the 12th property, okay? All right. Okay, so this was some information, some quick overview about the contents that we have already discussed. Now I am going to talk about some questions. First of all, we will talk about the quiz questions, and then I will talk about some questions which are relevant to this chapter. Okay. Acha, most of you, like everyone, was able to do the first part. That is very good. Okay. So the question was, write this correct to the nearest million. So what exactly do we have in case of a million? We know that this is going to be the million digit. The first one is units, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and then finally this last one is basically for millions. Okay, 1 million is basically 10 lakhs or 10,100,000. Okay, this is how you can just remember this. So this right now is basically 64 million. Okay, this figure right here is 64 million 7 lakhs 85,491. Okay, I'm just helping those who were not able to understand this. Okay, anyways, most of you were able to do it correctly. So nearest million would mean that I need to talk about the first two digits because this is exactly from where the million is starting. Like this is 64 million. So I look at the third digit, that is 7, that is greater than 5. So this means that I can make this 4 5. 6 would come as it is, 4 would become 5, and I am going to write down zeros for the remaining thing. I'm just adding commas for my reference. You can even write it down without commas, okay? So this is going to be 65 billion, and most of you were able to do it correctly. Very good. Okay. And those who have anything that's coming to your mind, you can ask me right now. That's fine, okay? The second part was not correct in most of the cases. Like I think there was only one student who was able to do it correctly, and I'll tell you the mistake.
I forgot the square. I forgot the square.
Yes, you like Taha and movies, like both of them, they forgot the square, but yes, that was also fine. Most of the students made mistakes with this part and with this part. Okay, I'll tell you. It says by writing each number correct to one significant figure, estimate the value. Okay, so it says Pele, you need to write down all these three numbers correct to one significant figure. That is important. This is what you guys did not understand. So 67.8 ko most of you wrote it as 68. No, one significant figure, okay? So 67.8, then 49.5 and 0.187. These are the three numbers which I need to write correct to one significant figure. 67.8, one significant figure means the first number. I need to have this first number only. And would it be 6 or 7? That decision would be made on the basis of the next number. If the next number is greater than 5, or even if it is 5, the previous number would become 7. Okay? So 67.8 would basically become 7, and this would basically become 70. Just think about it this way. Okay, you have, this is your number line. Okay, this is 0. This is 67.8. One significant figure. Okay, so it can either be 60 or it can be 70. Either it can be 60 or it can be 70. It has to be one significant figure. How do we decide? We need to decide that on the basis of कि ये 60 से ज़्यादा closer if it's closer to 70 more, right? So it's closer to 70. That is why 67.8 would basically become 70. Similarly, when you have 49.5, one significant figure means that you need to look at this 4 only, okay? The number that's written next after 4 is basically 9. So 4 would become 5, and I am going to write it as 50. Okay, I was able to see that you guys were not that good in this concept except a few students, and this 0.87 is not 1, it is 0.87. Think about things logically. This is your number line, this is 0, then we have, let's say, let me write down, this is 1, so 0.187 is somewhere here. Okay. Now, when you guys rounded it off, so one student wrote 0 and some students wrote 1. And there was, I think, 3 students or something who wrote 0.2, right? And then 2 forgot to square that. Okay. Now, how do we deal with it? It's 0.87. Either it is going to be 0.1 or it is going to be 0.2. It is not going to be 0 or 1. It cannot be 0 or 1. Okay. Please remember this. 0.87 से पहले हमारे पास 0.1 है, and after this we have 0.2. तो इस तरह तो it won't make sense. Wait, 0.2 would be closer to this. How do we decide? We need to decide on the basis of this distance. Okay, 0.187 is closer to 0.2. That is why when I will round it off, this is going to become 0.2. Okay, please understand this right now. This question, although this would only come for a mark or two, but it's important. Okay, these marks are equally important. So please pay attention. This is easy, and I was able to see that most of you were not able to do this correct. You guys were able to do difficult parts, but not this easy part. Okay. So I can write it as 70 plus 50 divided by 0.2 square. And now just do it directly. So 70 plus 50 is going to give you 120 divided by 0.2 squared. So 0.2 squared would be 0.04, and when you would do the entire thing, so this would give you 3000. I think there was only one student who got this correct answer. Otherwise, all the answers were wrong, and I was very surprised to see that because this is considered to be an easy topic, right? So now
Yeah,
ask me.
it is easy, but I forgot the square.
Yeah, that's fine. That is okay. But at least you were able to round the numbers off correctly, right? Some of the students were not able to do that. So those who were not able to do that, please tell me now, honestly, if you have any confusions, if you have something in your mind, कि अगर let's say if we had this, तो वो round off के क्या होता? Anything that's coming to your mind, ask me right now. Imagine that you come across this question in exam and you are not able to do it. So you guys would be disappointed, okay? You're spending time right now in order to understand even after your school classes. So this is the right time to ask me. Yes, now tell me if you have anything that you would like to ask from this topic. Okay. Acha, one student is saying round 65, okay? When I will, let's write it down. It's 65, okay? So 65 ko round karne ke liye, I only have two options. It can either be 60 or it can be 70. But the rule is that whenever the next number is either 5 or greater than 5, we add 1 to the previous number. Okay, so 65 would basically become 70. This is the rule. Whenever you have 35, 35 would become 40. जब भी 5 होता है, we add 1 to the previous number. Okay, 5 or greater than 5, we add 1 to the previous number. Okay, perfect. So I think this is good. And next time when I will give you a surprise quiz, I hope that you guys are able to do this question correctly. Okay, just think about it logically. Acha. Okay. This was basically the next question. Umar and Jamil share 540 in the ratio 7:2. Work out Umar's share. Now I'll tell you कि issue क्या था. Issue शायद ये था कि some of you wrote it this way: 7:2, 540:x. This is wrong. Why? Your strategy is right. Your idea is right. But the numbers and the ratio you are using with 540, that is wrong. Okay. Look at it. 7:2 means that we have 7 parts for Umar and 2 parts for Jamil. So in total, how many parts do we have? In total, we have 9 parts. This 540 would be divided by 9. You guys were saying that 7 parts is basically 540 and you will just find X and that would give you Umar's share. No, they never said that Jamil's share was 2 or like they never said that 540 was basically equivalent to 7 parts. No, the statement was that in total the amount is $540 and the ratio is 7:2. You guys need to understand that this 7:2 means 7 parts for Umar, 2 parts for Jamil. In total, you have 9 parts. Okay. So if you want to do it through the ratio method, just do it this way. Total ratio Umar. Okay. This is what we need to figure out. Umar has 7 parts. Okay, and how many parts does total have? Total has 9
9.
parts. Very good, 9. And the total share is 540. And this is X. Now you would get the correct answer. Please do your working now and tell me what exactly would have been Umar's share. And just type your answer. Do not say it loudly, okay? I'm just waiting. Very good. Noor, Urva, Ariba, Taha, Muiz, you were already correct yesterday. Bipesh, well done, excellent. Okay, this is correct. It would be, we will just cross multiply this and you guys would get X equals 420. That is perfect. Okay, this part. Increase 40 in the ratio 5:8. Now the statement looks complicated, but it's not difficult. And once we talk about profit and loss, you guys would get to understand it even better. Okay, but let's do this question right now. Increase 40 in the ratio 5/8. Okay, how can I write this as? 5:8 can be written as 5/8. Okay, so you guys would have heard this from your parents or at times that what is 1/3 of a number, what is 2/3 of this number, what is 1/4 of a number. So what is 5/8 of 40? You need to figure out 5/8 of 40 and add that in 40. Increase 40 in the ratio 5:8. Okay, so सबसे पहले figure out 5/8 of 40. Okay, so let's figure out 5/8 parts of 40. So I've told you guys how do we write it down. 5 divided by 8 of is multiplication and 40. And upon simplifying, this is 2 times, this is 10 times, this is 1 times, this is 5 times, so 25. What is this? 5/8 part, 5/8 part of 40 is 25. Increase 40 in the ratio 5:8. It means get 5/8 part of 40 is basically 25. You need to add this. Okay. Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. And then this would just give you the increment, like whatever has increased. And we would then add it to the number and you would get the final answer. But for now, let's just wait and talk about profit and loss first. Then you guys would get to understand this concept even better. And then we will talk about this question. Okay. So those who were not able to understand this, it's completely fine, because I can see that some of you did the same question in a different way, and some students were able to do that. That's fine. But those who are studying maths from me for the first time, it's good that we talk about profit and loss first, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, but not right now, later on. Okay. Acha. So basically this is the first thing, and now we need to talk about, okay, this was also important. Let's quickly go through this. And I was a bit surprised to see that some of you were not able to do this correctly. Okay. Okay, no. The final answer is not 25. The final answer is going to be 64. The final answer is not 25. That was just an increment by 5 by 8, right? We have several methods of doing this question. You can directly multiply the number by 8 by 5 and even get the answer, but I don't want to talk about that question for now, because those who are taking maths like from me for the first time would get confused badly. Okay, so it's good that we keep that concept on hold for some time, and let's talk about this question. Okay. Yes, okay. The final answer is going to be 64. So those who got 64, that's correct. It's fine. Acha. It says write 270 as the product of its prime factors. Okay. So it's 270. First of all, I would start off by 2. That is 135. Now I can see that the last number is odd, so it won't be divisible by 2. I'll just apply the divisibility test of 3. 1 plus 3 plus 5 is 9. It would be divisible by 3. So the number is going to be 45 again by 3. The number is going to be 15 again by 3. It's going to be 5, 5, 1, and 1. And the answer was 2 multiplied by 3 cube multiplied by 5. Some of you just multiplied this number again and then wrote this 270 again. That is wrong. The examiner he doesn't want 270. He just wants you guys to break this 270 as a product of prime factors, and this is going to be the thing. Okay, so whatever you guys did was basically just an extra step. You were only supposed to write this multiplication. Okay, acha. All right. The next part was find the highest common factor of 270 and 225. So let's just quickly do that. Okay. It's 270 and it's 225. So a number that divides both the numbers and that number is not 2, that number is 3. So 270 divided by 3 is basically going to give me 90. Then I know that 2 plus 2 plus 5 is basically 9, and 9 is coming in the table of 3, so it means it would be divisible by that, and it would be 75. Okay. Next, it's again 3. It's 30 and 25. Next, it's 5 and it's 6 and 5. And next, some of you did 5, 1, 6, 6, 1, 1. No, that is wrong. This is something that we do in case of LCM. Once you come across a situation where you are not able to find a number that is a factor of both the numbers, you need to stop at that point and just multiply these two numbers. Please do not take 6 and 5. This is what we do in case of LCM. Okay, and even for LCM, I've told you guys to stop at this point and just multiply this with this. For LCM, you just make this multiplication in this shape because it's L, so just do it this way. But for HCF, just stop right here and just multiply these numbers. So 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5, it's 9 multiplied by 5, that is 45. This was basically your answer, not what you guys did. Okay. So please make sure that next time when the question is about HCF, yes, you can also write down all the factors and then find the highest common factor, but that would take a lot of time. So no need to waste your time when you have this method. Okay. Acha. Solve the simultaneous equation. So you're working. One second, we'll talk about it. Let's talk about this question first. I'm more interested in this because we're talking about this point. And I will send you the solution for the simultaneous equations part. Okay, this is also important. Like, this is more important. Acha. Okay. Points A, B, and C are on the circle with center O, AOC, and OBE are straight lines. DE is a tangent to the circle. Okay. Explain why triangle AOB is isosceles. Okay. Forget this description. Look at the diagram. It's a circle AOB from center to circumference. This is my radius, and from center to circumference, this is also my radius. Okay, this is radius, this is radius. Why would AOB be an isosceles triangle? It would be an isosceles triangle because the two sides of this triangle are equal. Why are they equal? Because AO and BO both are basically the radius of the circle, and since radius is same, that is why the two sides are same. So this is why the circle is an isosceles circle. So AO is equal to BO because both AO and OB are basically the radius of the circle. Okay, and the radius of the circle is basically same, right? Even this would be same. Like if I make the radius from this point to this point, this is also going to be same. So whatever or wherever the radius is in case of one circle, it is same. Okay, that is why it is an isosceles triangle. Okay, and then the next part was find BEC. Okay, acha. One thing should be clear by now. It's BEC. This is what we need to calculate. Acha. I've told you guys, whenever the examiner is mentioning something, he is not mentioning just for the sake of writing or typing. He's mentioning because he wants you to understand this clue. DE is a tangent to the circle at C. So there was a property that the angle between the radius and tangent is going to be 90 degrees. What is OC? O is center, OC is your radius, and this CE or DCE is your tangent. So this angle is going to be 90 degrees. Now what I need to do is I need to find this angle somehow, and I would easily be able to find this angle, right? This one that we have been asked. Okay. Acha. If this is 34, what would be this angle? Tell me quickly. What would be this angle?
34.
Angle side relationship.
34, 34.
Very good.
24.
Very good. Excellent. Okay. Angle side relationship में क्या था? Two sides are same, two angles would be same. What would be this angle? Sum of angles in a triangle is 180. So 34 plus 34 is 68. 180 minus 68 is 112. Very good. Again, the next rule. Acha. What is going to be this one? What is going to
68.
be?
68.
Excellent.
68.
Very good. 68. Okay, so now we know this is 90 degrees. That is 68. We can easily find the other one. 90 plus 68 is 158. Just do 180 minus 158, and that is going to give you 22 degrees. Okay, so the correct answer was 22 degrees. That is why we got 22. It was 22. Yes. Any confusions with this? Anyone who was not able to understand?
No confusions.
Okay. Okay, just give me 2 more minutes. Okay, one last question. Okay, find the value of x. Acha. The diagram shows a quadrilateral ABCD with AD extended to E, okay. BCD is 135, I can see that. BAD is 122, BAD is 83, and CD is 122. Whatever they have written, I can see that on the diagram as well. I need to find the X degrees, okay. Acha. So, can anyone tell me this angle? Sum of angles on a straight line is 180. So,
58.
very
58.
good. Well done. Okay. How did we get this? 180 minus 122 gave me 58 because sum of angles on a straight line is 180. Acha, okay. Now, the next rule. Sum of angles in case of a quadrilateral is n minus 2 multiplied by 180. This is what we have just discussed. So 2 multiplied by 180 is going to give me 360 degrees. I know that the sum of angle ABCD in case of this quadrilateral is going to be 360 degrees. So now can you guys find out X quickly?
84.
Very good. Well done. Excellent. So 360 minus 276 is basically 84 degrees. Okay, so I know that it is 360 equals 83 plus 58 plus 135 plus x degrees. This sum was basically 276 degrees plus x degrees. So x was the question. I've taken this on the other side and I got 84. Yes. Any difficulties with this? Anything that you guys would like to ask me right now?
No questions. No difficulties.
Okay. What about the other students? Please tell me quickly.
No questions.
Okay.
Ma'am, no questions.
Okay. All right. Let me